Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Biggie546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so I missed some stuff yesterday and everything kept piling up. And I kept saying I'm going to do a video. Then the next thing I knew, it was like 10 o'clock at night. So I didn't do a video yesterday and there's a lot of stuff to cover. So what I'm going to do is split this up into 2 videos, put them out pretty much back to back, and we'll go from there. And by the way, I am having a live stream today at 6 where I'm going to give away 2 FanFest tickets. So definitely tune in for that live stream. I'm going to have the hub there. I'm going to have Eli Rax from Twitter. Anybody that's on Giants Twitter probably knows who he is. And if you don't, you'll see him today. But other than that, we have a lot of stuff that went down yesterday. First, we got the news that Shane Lemieux is going to be out for 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the time that we've seen. We don't know if that's real or not. We don't know how solid that is, but we know at least he's not going to be out. Probably won't be in a position to miss any games as far as actual games. Like he might miss some preseason games, but actual games, I doubt he'll actually miss if they continue to keep him as a starter. But the other thing about that is we brought in Joe Looney yesterday. Now, the reports came out that said that the Giants were interested in Austin rEITER. He was supposed to visit with the Giants. I don't know if he's still going to visit. They say he's going to visit in the coming days. And Austin rEITER, I mean, just to pull out some of the things that he's done, 33 starts in his career, which is about 2 seasons, not a bunch, but he's been a kind of a swing player for a little while. 59 games he's played in, so that shows you how many games he's played in besides those 33 starts. And he's played in 2 Super Bowls. He was the starting center for the Chiefs in both Super Bowls. And I'm sure people are going to say, but the Chiefs' offensive line, they got destroyed. Well, if you look at the game, the center was not getting destroyed. That was all the 2 tackles and a little bit of the guards. The center was doing great. And Austin rEITER is a solid pass blocking guy. He's not the most elite run blocking center at all. But as far as the pass game, he holds up. He hasn't given up a sack, I think, in the last 2 years, or maybe 1 sack in the last 2 years. He is exactly what we need on the offensive line if we want to be able to throw the ball with Daniel Jones, to be able to make plays down the field this year. We need guys who are going to pass block. So I was thinking if we went after Austin rEITER, it would be Andrew Thomas on the left tackle. Maybe you move Will Hernandez back to left guard because he has that familiarity. You would move Nick Gates to right guard where he's played before and was really good at. And then you would put Austin rEITER right in the middle because he is a pure center. Now he can play guard, but he is a pure center. Stick him at center, stick Nick Gates at right guard, and put Matt Parrott at right tackle. And that makes me feel a lot better in the pass block. Austin rEITER definitely is an upgrade in the pass blocking game over Shane Lemieux. And then you get Nick Gates over the right guard, and that solves the other guard issue. And then Will Hernandez has always been at least a solid guy in pass protection. Andrew Thomas is getting better. And Matt Parrott, I have a feeling that even if he's not able to really be able to get low and anchor down in the run game, he's going to be a good pass protecting tackle. He's got those long arms. He's got all the size. He's basically the perfect body, the perfect build for a starting left tackle in the NFL that will be a pass blocker, except he's over on that right side. So I think that would be a really good pass blocking offensive line. Now, instead of that, we brought in Joe Looney. And Joe Looney is someone that came over from the Cowboys. He's got somewhere around 30-something starts as well, I think. Maybe a little bit more. I think he's at 42 starts, actually, if I'm remembering right. And Joe Looney is a guy who started at center for the Cowboys. He has experience at guard. I see Joe Looney as a good signing. I see him as a guy who can be a depth piece. And he's probably going to compete for one of those guard spots as far as over Shane Lemieux. He'll compete there. I don't expect them, if he shows up about even with Shane Lemieux, I don't expect the Giants to give him the job over Lemieux because Joe Looney is pretty much always been a depth guy, and he'd be perfect for that swing guard, swing center kind of thing. If someone goes down, Joe Looney is a solid guy to have to put in there. And I wouldn't think that your offensive line is horrible. if he's starting at guard or center for you. So that's something to keep an eye on. He actually got signed yesterday and was immediately in practice. So Joe Looney's on the Giants. I hope that doesn't mean that we're not going after Austin Reiter anymore, because I saw that guy as a starter. And I really think bringing both of them in will provide a lot of depth on the interior of the offensive line. Of course, we have Kenny Wiggins, who's been filling in at that left guard spot so far after Shane Lemieux went down. We got Kyle Murphy, who I've heard that, the Giants like. And we have Jonathan Harrison, who's on the PUP list. So we've got a little bit of depth there as far as guys who, have played a little bit. Kenny Wiggins has played a little bit in this league. Zach Fulton. Zach Fulton has played in this league, and Jonathan Harrison has played in this league. So we've got a ton of guys with starting experience in the NFL that are on this offensive line. But I think adding these two guys would definitely help the depth. So I hope that they're still going to go off after Austin Reiter. Other than that, the offensive line is the biggest concern to me on this team by far. I just cannot understand why we didn't draft one, why we didn't sign one in free agency earlier. And I think Austin Reiter is pretty much the last of the guys in the offensive line free agency that I feel that can start that are healthy. Of course, you have your Kelechi Osimiles and your David DeCastros, who no one is even sure if he's going to play or retire or not because of injuries. You have some of these older guys who have dealt with serious injury who you're not even sure want to play. But other than that, it's Austin Reiter there. So I would really hope that they would pursue Austin Reiter still, because what's the worst case scenario? He comes back, competes with Shane Lemieux, and Shane Lemieux plays so well at his spot that Austin Reiter has to be our backup center or backup guard. I think that would be great. So to have him and Looney would definitely be great depth. As far as the tackles go, I feel great about Nate Solder being our swing tackle. A lot of people probably don't feel good about that because Nate Solder was horrible in 2019 for Daniel Jones, and he was horrible at the beginning of the season in 2018. But Eli, as a veteran, was able to know that Nate Solder likes running people around the corner, and if you don't step up in the pocket, you're going to be right there in the zone to be sacked. So maybe more chemistry with Nate Solder would allow Daniel Jones to be able to step up in the pocket, hold on to the football, not get it swiped out from behind him, and it'll help that he's on the right side. So that way when he sees guys swooping around the corner, he can see right in front of him and step up and be able to get around it. So Nate Solder as the swing tackle is good. Nick Gates, of course, has experience at tackle, but you never want to move a guy all the way from center to tackle. But it does help to know that you have a starting center who has started the last two Super Bowls that could possibly step in at center if you did need to move Nick Gates out. Because when you look at the guys who will be the swing tackles, Jackson Barton's there. I just think Nick Gates is probably the next best tackle that's on that team after Andrew Thomas, Matt Perry, and Nate Solder. So it's good to have him on the team. And adding these new offensive linemen are only going to help us be able to be flexible. Now, right now, if you ask me what I want our starting offensive line to be, I would say that it will be Andrew Thomas to the left. Again, Will Hernandez there, Nick Gates at right guard, Reiter at center, and Parrott at right tackle. I think it makes perfect sense. I think you have your two tackles who are going to be decent pass blockers to being able to develop as pass blockers and develop as offensive tackles. And then you have your two young guards, and then you have your veteran at center. So perfect mix of veterans and young people. Will Hernandez is nearing his second contract, so he's kind of a vet too. And I think it works out perfectly. So you guys let me know what your perfect starting offensive line will be using the Giants' current offensive linemen as well as people that were rumored to sign. Austin Reiter is the only guy we're rumored to sign. So I'm just hoping that they haven't canceled that meeting with him because it makes a lot of sense to go out and sign this dude. So this offensive line is as far as the team is going to go as far as the offensive line goes. It's just that plain and simple. This team is only going to go as far as this offensive line. Everything else is ready to go. Everything else, the skill positions, the quarterback, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends, everything else is ready to go. The defense, we just need this offensive line to be average. And I think we can really do that with just one more move. So you guys let me know what you're thinking about this line, and have a great rest of your day. I'm going to get out another video today specifically about the offense, debunking some of the things that people have said about the offense is just struggling so badly. So you guys look out for that video. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.